It says
Oh, it's
starting,
live.
starting
We're here.
live broadcast.
Oh my
So
goodness.
exciting.
Hey guys.
I gotta see it here. Okay, it says it will begin in a few minutes, but it's starting now.
There's a lag, so mine just started on my desktop. Hi guys.
Okay. Hey, we'll give people a couple minutes to get in and just make sure that we've got everything.
Yes.
There's 3 watching now. This is the first time that I have done a Google Hangout or like anything live that I had to run. I was on the Real Rap with the Reynolds yesterday, but he ran everything. I didn't have to do any
How'd
work.
that go? Did it go good?
It was really fun. Yeah. We had a lot to talk about since we both do like secondary school. So that's on his channel if anybody's interested in. So for my sake, if you could just comment like anything, like comment
I can see
what you had for dinner or something, just so that I can like be like, okay, it's working. People are seeing us. That would be great.
Wonderful. There's some people popping in now. Hey guys. Oh, hi Sydney. My friend Sydney.
Oh, you can see? You can tell?
I can see. You have to, since you're on your phone, you need to like go to the bottom and like swipe up. There's a little thing, it's really small and it says like live chat.
Oh, yeah.
You see it? You see everyone?
I've done it before on other people's live chats and now like on my own. Why is this not working? I'm on a different account, but.
So like if you go to your subscriptions and then push on it, and then it's right, well, it's right at the bottom. There's a little button that says live chat. Are you in your subscription box? Sorry guys.
Let's see, switch account, because I wasn't in the app. I was just on Safari. I'm gonna go in as my other Gmail, my other self here, signed in as Megan. Got it. Activity.
Then, yeah. Look in your subscription.
Live chat. Woo! Okay. And I hear people, or I see people saying, hi, watching, we can hear you, ready to go. Yes, okay.
Wonderful. Hi, guys.
You know what's one thing that I have learned just in the past couple of days of like figuring out the technology is like, I'm not that great with technology and there are things that I just don't really want to learn about. But if I have a bigger reason to do it, then I'm way more motivated to learn, way more motivated to practice. I'm like, okay, this is what my students need too. Like they might not want to write, but if they have a bigger project that it's connected to,
totally,
way more motivated.
Totally. And that was one of the things someone wanted to talk about was like motivation in the classroom. And so what do you do, Megan, to get like buy-in from your kids? So like they want to
I definitely have ideas about that. Let's introduce ourselves real quick, just in case anybody is like coming from your side or coming from my side.
Yes.
So go ahead and go first and kind of tell us about yourself.
So I am Paige. You can find me over at my YouTube channel, Love and Literacy. And I'm a 5th grade teacher. I teach reading and social studies in Kansas City, Kansas.
And I'm Megan from Too Cool for Middle School. So my channel is just about teaching and then just like style and life and encouragement in general. And so that's kind of what we wanted to do today with our teacher happy hour is answer any questions you have about teaching or just like, you know, balancing life with that in general also. Like literally right now, my baby's sitting right here eating cheese and crackers and baby TV is on right there to keep him occupied and trying to talk to you guys at the same time. So this is like real life. This is what we do. We can talk about that kind of stuff too.
Yes, totally. So, yeah, I kind of jumped the gun earlier. My bad. But now I thought we could get started with the buy-in, like the motivation, like, because I find if kids don't want to do something, they're just, if it's not fun, like they're not going to want to do it and they're not going to be excited and you're not going to get their best work. So what are some of the things that you do?
Well, just kind of like we were saying where you're practicing something for a different end, like just writing for the sake of writing. Some kids do like to do that, but a lot of kids don't. But if, or even like reading for the sake of reading, but like, say that you're reading an article or a book. I love to plant things like in their brain. Oh, one of my favorite things that I've done is there's this informational text that we read. It's part of the Odell modules. I think a lot of schools are starting to adopt those now. So if you do the Odell modules and you do the Wolf unit, there is one article in there that has one of the worst written paragraphs I've ever read in my life. I don't know who edited this thing, but it is junk. It is trash. But I love that because I tell my students, like, okay, we're gonna read this thing, like some of it's good, and then I tell them. And it also has the worst written paragraph I've ever seen in my life. So if you think you see it, let me know. And then they're like, oh, okay. So they're reading and they can't wait to find the thing that sucks. So if you, like with middle schoolers, if you tell them something stupid or something is just lame, like, oh, let me find this. So sometimes even like looking for something negative will get them excited.
Totally. I agree. My kids love it when I do a lot of like gamified things in my classroom and just ways to make learning more engaging and fun. So I do, like, have you ever done a breakout in your classroom? Breakout EDU? Have you heard of it?
I have, and I haven't tried to explain it so that I know.
So basically, you've heard of the breakout rooms that people, or escape rooms that people go to, and like they have to break out in a certain amount of minutes or an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the same concept with breakout. So what I did at the end of the year, last year, before all of their testing, I looked at like their areas of difficulty. From this, we use a computer program, but I looked at the areas of difficulty, and
you're really good with data. I remember you saying that.
I love data. I love looking at that. And I put together, and I made a bunch of questions, like some were cause and effect, some people, struggled with different things, and then I grouped them by that. And then I created a breakout. So basically, it's a set of questions and activities that kids have to do to unlock a combination. And in one end of the room, you have a box that has like 10 different locks on it with the prize like inside. And to unlock all those locks, the kids have to work collaboratively in their groups to like unlock each lock in different codes. And it is amazing. Like these kids, like,
that. That's such a good idea.
They were studying and like practicing their skills, and they didn't even know it because they were just having so much fun. And I made the room like in disarray. This one that I did, it was the bookworm breakout. So like the bookworm had lost all his knowledge, and then they had to find it. And so like the world was in disarray, the classroom was all crazy, and then they had to find the combinations to these locks. So it was great. So I love to do things like that to really kind of spice it up and, make it fun.
And that sounds like tons of effort. And
it is.
Another thing with a little less effort is just Kahoot. I think a lot of teachers use Kahoot, but if you give kids like 10 questions to practice, they're going to hate it. But if you put the 10 questions in Kahoot, which takes you a few minutes, they act like they won $1 million when you say, we're going to do this on a Kahoot. They're like, what? Kahoot? I get so excited. So just like you said, gamifying things makes a world of difference. And I don't even ever actually make my own Kahoots anymore. I have students do it because they're ones that finish early or whatever. I'm like, hey, do you want to make a Kahoot for me? They're like, yes.
Remember in that one video, I was talking about the Kahootathon? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the kids make their own Kahoots and then they give it to each other. And it's so perfect. It's a great way for them to practice, and then it's fun.
Yeah. We had a day toward the end of the year in my class with like the worst behavior and the lowest readers and writers, and we just got on like this Kahoot thing where they all wanted to make Kahoots. Actually, what we did was we listened to podcasts because on our state testing there are listening portions. I think on probably everybody's, and our kids always do the worst on those. And like as teachers, we always make fun of them. We're like, yeah, they're terrible listeners. They never listen to us. But I'm like, do we ever teach them listening skills? Do we ever practice listening? No wonder they do badly. So I found some cool like kid podcasts that would interest them, and like sent them the links, and they got to choose which one they wanted to listen to. So it was like whatever was interesting to them. And then they had to write 10 Kahoot questions with whoever else also chose that podcast, because there was only like 5 to choose from. So that automatically put them into groups. They worked together, made Kahoots, and then I mean, it ended up taking like a week, like to listen to all of them, make all the Kahoots, play all the games and everything. But it was a great way to review. And especially since they were about to have to take the state test and we hadn't practiced any listening, we got it all done in 1 week. So
that's
it was
wonderful.
Kind of
fun. Where did you get the podcast?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. I literally just Googled like cool podcast for kids and a bunch came up. And the thing that was a bummer is that if it's only available on iTunes, we couldn't access it on our Chromebooks. So my kids have 1-to-1 Chromebooks. So they had to be podcasts where like you could just go to that podcast website and listen to it there. So that was probably the most time consuming thing on my end, was just figuring out which ones were accessible. So, and then I also listened to them ahead of time, just kind of like in the morning while I was getting ready, just to double check and make sure that, you know, I don't know sometimes what I'm pushing out there to Google Classroom that their parents could see. I just want to make sure it was like good. And it was fine. So if I can, I will like link those below this video later. I'm sure if I just look back at my lesson plans, I can find it off the top of my head. I forget.
Awesome. Yeah. I was going to answer a question from the chat. Was it hard to prep? I know, right? It's hard to balance both. Was it hard to prep the breakout? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It took some effort. It really did. The good thing about it was I had my instructional coach. We created it together. So it kind of split the work in half. And then we actually submitted it to Breakout EDU. So if they accept it and everything, it should be available on their website, like for free, like all of the stuff that you need.
I'll link that below as well, the Breakout EDU site. And if I can find yours in particular, I'll try and link that.
Definitely, yes. But it was work to put together, but it was still worth it. You know, good teaching is, you know, it's going to take more than the minimum effort, but isn't it worth it? The
flip side of that too is you can put a lot of time into content and curriculum and activities, and I'm going to guess you had no behavior problems that day, maybe one. So you could not put much time into your lessons, and then you could deal with behavior problems all day. So like, which end do you want to put your effort on?
Exactly. So, because the kids were so engaged, they didn't have time to you know, do something they weren't supposed to be doing, because they were like, they wanted to be the other groups. They wanted to be the one to unlock the box. So yeah, totally.
I saw somebody, I can't remember, but do this on like their Instagram stories. Like they went through their whole setup of a Breakout EDU thing, and it was really cool. That was the first time I had heard of it, I think, and I was like, oh, I need to do it. It was a math one though, so they're solving a bunch of math problems. I think it lends itself to math like really well.
Yes, I bet. I don't teach math, but
you do out there. I'm gonna look down. I feel like rude, like looking down, but I'm just gonna see.
We're reading your comments.
I'm ignoring. When does it become easier? That's a funny question.
Let's see. We're practicing.
Okay, here's a few things we'll keep in mind. When does it get easier? Advice about discipline, like classroom management. Stop it, Jensen. Also did a crime scene. Oh, and they like arrested a teacher. That's so funny. If you teach like a girl, she said we have amazing hair.
Oh,
crazy.
You know, big hair, don't care.
Okay, Jensen Forbes. This child he wants to read all of your comments on my phone. You can't have it.
You want to read it. Hi, Jensen.
Darren, what's up? Digital breakout. So there's a bunch of good like tips in here as well. And I think these are going to stay on YouTube.
No, unfortunately they don't. Unfortunately the live chat does not stay up, which is a bummer. But I'm writing some of it down.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear that. Stop it. Okay, continue.
Yes, so let's see. Someone wants us to talk about our student teaching experience. Since mine's pretty fresh, I can talk about mine, and then Megan, you can talk about yours. So I graduated from a program that was very urban focused, the Institute for Urban Education. And so I did a year-long a whole year. It started like end of July, a student teaching placement in like the urban core at a charter school in Kansas City. So, you know, it was a lot of work, but like at the time, you know, it was hard. It was really hard. But looking back, it prepared me for any possible situation. Just working in the urban core, it really opens your eyes. And I think that's what made me really passionate, is because I was in that that program. But yeah, it was a year long. How long
you don't
was
have
yours?
to put out like your personal information, but is that also like, do you work where you live, or do you have to commute, or?
I live where kind of in the area that I student taught. I live in Kansas City. I teach, so I live in Kansas City, Missouri, and I teach in Kansas City, Kansas. Because Missouri.
And those
Kansas
are close?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's like a 25-minute drive, but I mean, it's the same metro, the Kansas City metro area.
Okay.
But, so yeah, I don't necessarily live where I teach, because I teach in Kansas City, Kansas, but I live in Kansas City, Missouri.
How funny.
Isn't that weird?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how long was your student teaching?
It was also a year. It started in like August, you know, like the first day of school, and just went to the last day of school. And I taught at a high school, and I don't have any like crazy student teaching stories. It was a really good experience. It was just like a busy year, because I was student teaching, also working and like trying to pay my own bills, and then also taking classes for the credential class, or for the credential program. So it's a busy time. But I taught high school, and they were like pretty motivated high schoolers, and it was
were they?
10th grade world history and 11th grade U.S. history, and it was like my wheelhouse. It was my content area. It was the age that I like. I had great master teachers, so for me, it was pretty easy. I know, like people are like looking for horror stories, and I'm like, I don't know, it was really fun.
For advice, one thing I would say is, no matter if you're at your student teaching placement for a year or 6 weeks, a semester, you want to treat it like every day is a job interview, because the education world is so small. I mean, you wouldn't think it is, but it is. And you know, if you do a good job and you're professional, like that's gonna get around. And the same thing, if you kind of suck and you don't show up on time and you aren't professional, that's gonna get around too. So that's like my number one, is treat it like it's a job interview the whole time.
I'm working on, actually, I think it's coming out next week. Miss Tierney and I are doing a video on like what we wish we knew as new teachers, and that's one of the things that I would definitely say too as a student teacher. The only thing, I'm like reiterating what I already said in that video, but I didn't treat it like it was going to be a potential job. They had like told me over and over, like, there's not going to be any jobs, there's not going to be any jobs, just so you know, there's no jobs, there's no jobs. And so I didn't like make relationships with the administration. I didn't go to staff meetings. Like, I had to go to work. I had to like pay my bills. So I just like, I only worked until lunch, and then at lunch I would go, I taught piano lessons. So I would just leave at lunch every single day. I didn't get involved in the school. And then when the next school year started, a history teacher quit to like run for public office, like unexpectedly. And they were like, oh, there is a job opening. And it's kind of a long story. I did get hired, and then like the district office ended up wanting like somebody's nephew to get it. And so then they like took it away from me and gave it to him. But I feel like if I had been a little bit more involved, that, I don't know, I just would have had a better chance of fighting that back or something. So that's something I definitely could have done better, was treating it more like it was a job interview every day and trying to suck up a little bit. I didn't suck up at all, and I should have.
You gotta how to schmooze a little bit, you know? Yes, definitely. Let's see. Let's look at the chat.
Checking in here.
Let's see. A lot of great conversation going on.
Yes. Classroom management, somebody had asked about like a few minutes ago. I think she said she was going to be a new teacher this year. What's advice that you have? I think last year was your first year, right, as a teacher? And how did you handle classroom management?
Not
everything, but one or two things.
Just like and I think I say this all the time, but my biggest thing, and I think too because, so the school I student taught at was, I would say it's like more urban than the school I teach at now.
Okay.
My school is still like that was like in the urban core, you know. This is kind of more on the outskirts where I teach now. And especially there, I found it, if you didn't build relationships, it's over. Like you've lost them from day one. Yep. And so I just take that mentality with me. And so, I mean, when it comes to classroom management, I start with building a positive climate in the classroom. We do class meetings. I teach 5th grade. My 5th graders come in. We sit down on the floor. We talk in the morning. We have a 5th grade chant that we do back and forth. So I just think that's so important, is building relationships, because once you have that, like, they're going to want to do a good job for you. You know, they're going to, I mean, obviously there's so many other things that factor in, but that's like the main thing for me. They have to want to do a good job. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Well, one thing I've been thinking about lately is that a lot of teachers, like, we put so much responsibility on ourselves for classroom management and behavior. I mean, as we should, like, you need to take care of most, like, behavior issues in your classroom, but you also just need to, like, be very aware of, like, what the whole school policy is, or like what other teachers are doing, or what your administrators do to handle things. Just because, like, each individual teacher can't, like, fight every single battle by themselves. Like, you need to kind of work as a team. Since I teach middle school, there's 6 other teachers that have that same kid that I'm having an issue with. So we kind of all need to talk and make sure that, you know, maybe we're, like, all being consistent with this kid and helping him work on what blurting out in class, or always being on his games on his Chromebook or whatever. So, like, if you can reach out to other people also and try and establish some consistency throughout their day, if they have more than one teacher, I think that's important. And as a new teacher, I didn't want to ever admit when I was having issues with the kid. I didn't want to admit when I was stuck. And so I didn't ask for help. So ask for help.
Yeah, definitely. Because I find teachers in the building, like, they want to help. Like, they want to share their expertise, and they want to, so, you know, you're not going to look stupid or, like, you know, if asking for help. If anything, you know, your administrators perceive that as, like, you're being proactive, you want to do well, you know, so definitely ask for help, for sure. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Who else am I ignoring here?
I know, I'm like, it's hard to talk and read at the same time.
What are you doing? Plan to be Perfect. I've been watching her videos. What are you ladies doing over the summer to get ready for the year? Are you doing anything over the summer?
Let's see. So I taught summer school. I taught summer school. So once that was over, I was, and I also was taking master's classes. So I just now started kind of thinking about next school year. So, like, I'm just now getting into that, looking into things for next year. So just buying certain things, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have that much set up for next year.
It's July. It's
it's like the beginning of July-ish, kind of the middle, but what about you? Have you done anything?
I'm teaching summer school as well. We still have another week, and I've just done a lot of learning through summer school. I'm teaching stuff that I don't normally teach. I'm teaching journalism and business. And so for the journalism class, we are using Lucid Press to make everything. And so I've learned a ton about Lucid Press just by, like, again, having a project, like, we're publishing a newspaper, you know, so just like all those little skills I've been learning through that. Even just, like, more things on, like, Google Classroom that I've learned, just because I have the time to kind of experiment, and we don't really have due dates and deadlines and stuff during summer school. It's middle school, summer school, so it's not that big of a deal. So I feel like I've been working on my technology skills and things that I can implement next year by doing that. I also have all my kids do a restorative circle to start the day, which isn't really doable in my classroom during the year just because of like the hassle of like moving chairs and desks out of the way. But I've liked the community that it helped us build. To every single day we start with a community circle, we have some kind of a question, we've just like little gimmicky things, like we made a list of all like the random holidays. Like yesterday was National French Fry Day. So then our question for the day was like, where's your favorite place to get French fries? Because all the kids here like In-N-Out French fries the best, and I think they suck. So we're like, all right, so we're like debating French fry quality. So that's been really cool and like kind of a fun way to get to know the kids and just like experiment, like throw questions out there, like which ones are duds, which ones get kids talking, and then I can use that information next year.
Awesome. Yes, that's great. Let's see, I've been starting to think about, I don't know, do you guys at your middle school, do you guys incorporate any digital citizenship type things into your curriculum?
I am in charge of that this year.
Oh, that's exciting. You'll have to go on. I created this thing of different like activities. And there's going to be so many things we're going to have to link under this video. Yeah. But there's an amazing article about like the 9 elements of digital citizenship. And it's amazing. And so we'll have to link that article so that people can read about that. But I want to hear about what you're doing next year.
Okay, there's I'm like, oh, let me talk about this. Okay, I was telling my principal about this literally on the last day of school, and she was like, cool, do you want to like come in a day early and like implement this? And I was like, yes, please. Okay, because here's the thing. Let me preface this with, okay, all of our kids have their own Chromebook. The district gave all of our students their own Chromebook. So they have their own Chromebook at all times. It drives me crazy. I mean, it's good, but it also drives me crazy. Yeah. And they, like all of the adults at our school keep talking about how our kids are digital natives and they're so good with computers. And I'm like, okay, but you know they don't know how to send an email and they don't know how to like do a Google search. Like there are so many things they don't know how to do. Like, no, they are not digital natives. Like I'm kind of a digital native. I think it's more like we took like typing classes and word processing classes. And our kids don't even have a computer class. We just expect that they know everything, and they do not. There is so much that we need to teach them. But anyway, so that's why I was like, I'll do it because I am annoyed about this. But there's this thing called Internet Awesome. That's what it's called, Internet Awesome. I will link that below. John Green is part of it, and John Green does like Crash Course. He's like the original YouTuber. Like him and Hank Green are like the bomb. So it is, I think, 5 tenets of good digital citizenship, and each one is like a different color. I printed it all out, and there are like discussion questions, little activities, and then video games, like online games where you get to go practice each skill. And so it's like safety, and like one of the questions was like, is it a good idea to post on somebody's Facebook page or Instagram, like, have a great vacation, see you next week? And that seems totally innocent, but like, okay, now somebody knows their house is going to be empty for a week. Like, don't put that on the internet. And things like that we don't think of. Or like, you get your driver's license and take a picture and you're like, yeah, I got my driver's license, and put that on Instagram. Now everybody sees your address and all your personal information. Like, no, that's not a good idea either. But no one has taught them that stuff.
Yeah, that's scary, actually. Because they have so much access to, more so than we even did when we, and they have so much access to internet and to everything that's out there. So it's so important that they know those things, because that's so scary, So,
Internet Awesome, I think, we haven't rolled it out yet, but I think it's going to be a really good thing. And as long as I can, you have to get everybody at your school on board with it. But we're going to ask, since there's 5 like units, that the history teachers in the first 5 weeks of school do 1 unit per week and just get it all rolled out in that first like month and a half. So hopefully everybody will like agree. But
I love that. Internet Awesome. That's really cool.
It's free. Print it out. There's games. I need to play the games. That's like the last thing that I need to do, because I like started playing it and I was like, wait, how do you do this? So actually, what I should do is have some students be my guinea pig video game testers.
Piloted. Let's see. Megan, there's a question for you. Do you feel it's harder to build classroom community with older middle school / high school students?
Oh, wow, there's so many questions. That's a good question. I always struggle with like the harder or whatever because I have not ever taught elementary. So I don't know if like what the comparison is. But the thing that I imagine is harder is the fact that you have around 200 students versus like 30. So it's harder to know every student well. But I think the age group of like middle and high school, for me, just like for my personality, it's easier for me to get to know that age group than like a second grader where I'm like, I don't know, you like Pokemon?
What do I say?
Like, what do you? I don't know how to talk to them, but I know how to talk to like middle schoolers. So I find it easy to build community, and I find that middle schoolers are so tribal. Like they want to have a group, they want to be part of a team. So I think it's really easy to manipulate them into making friends and like being, having groups and stuff. So that's just my world. So that part's easy for me. But the sheer numbers, though, that is hard. There are literally kids at the last day of school where I'm like, Charlene, yeah, that's what I said. Yes. I know you, I promise. Like, that is a little tough.
I can't imagine having that many students. Because, I mean, I've always said that I really do see myself going up in my career, grade level. But, man, it'd be so hard to have 200 students. Like, I can't, that'd be tough to build those relationships.
It's hard to put in all the grades and everything.
I can only imagine. Okay, let's see. What were you going to say?
Jensen, can you say mama?
Hi,
Thanks. Can you say mama again?
Mama.
Thanks.
Mama, good job. Oh, he's cute. He's cute.
Hi. Oh, don't bite me, please. He's in the biting phase. It really hurts, man. Don't do that.
Roderick asked.
Oh, hey, Roderick. He's like a long-time YouTube watcher. I know you, Roderick.
My husband is texting me right now, and I guess he's watching. He's not here. And he's like, you should adjust your camera a little. Stop, Jimmy. Anyways. So
it's live. The quality is not.
I know, it's just
the best.
Look like this.
How it is. It's happy hour, guys. It's happy hour. It's not like professional development.
We're not.
Okay.
How did you make it through your first year of teaching? Because he is going to be graduating soon.
He's a paraprofessional. Yes.
All right. And 4th and 5th are the 2 grades that I would like to teach. So I made it through the year, my first year, just by not being afraid to try new things because I was a new teacher. Like, you as a new teacher, whoever's out there, like because you just graduated from this program, you have a lot of awesome, fresh ideas to bring. And you have a voice, and just because, yes, you're new and you have a lot to learn, and there's always room to grow no matter how many years you've been teaching, but you still also have a lot to give. And so not forgetting that and just being confident in yourself. Like, you went to school, you got your degree, you know what you're doing, go in there, you got this, and be confident. And then it rubs off. Like, the kids feel good, parents are going to feel better, principal's going to feel better. And it's just, my biggest thing is have confidence in yourself, because you got this. Like, this, you graduated from student teaching, your advisors thought you were ready. One thing about education programs, they're not going to pass you along if they don't think you're ready, because it's about the kids. At least my program was like that. So you got this. Be confident. What's your advice for first year?
I feel like I invested a ton of time my first year. I did spend more time than I do now, just because it was the beginning. And so there are all those little things that just take time, like trying to figure out the best way to collect student work and get it passed back out and organize it and put it in the grade book. And so there's just things that take time. So allow yourself the time to figure those things out. Change it mid-year if you need to. It's okay. They'll
and don't be afraid to change things. Like, you're going to change your procedures all the time.
Yeah, because the thing that people always tell you is be consistent and have your procedures ready on the first day. Like, so many people that do the I Teach 2 tag, they've been talking about that book, like that Harry Wong, First Days of School. Did you ever read that?
Yeah, I did.
That book scared the heck out of me.
I know.
Because it makes it seem like if your first few days are not perfect, your whole year is going to be terrible. And so, I mean, that's not the point of the book, but that's what it like was telling me. I was like, oh no, if I don't have my procedures down,
I finally had to like send it away.
Yeah, I had to like stop reading it because I was just like, I don't know. So you can change things. And also, I didn't have YouTube or like teacher blogs, or at least I didn't know about them when I first started teaching. So I think there are a lot of just like YouTube videos you can look up that are like some good ideas for the first day of school. I know I have some, you probably have some. So look those up, get ideas, find what works with your personality, because not every teacher can do the same thing.
Yes.
Not everyone likes the same stuff or can pull off the same stuff. There are things some teachers do that I just can't pull off.
No, yeah, I'm the teacher I shared, like that taught. So at my 5th grade, I taught 2 different classes of 5th grade. So the teacher that taught right next to me, we kind of, we shared the same kids. My kids would go to her for math, hers would go to me for reading. And she had just such a totally, completely different style of teaching, which is great. Like, and so that's why you really have to know like what another teacher is doing. It might not work for you or for your kids. Like she was just more like, she loved to do lots of like games, and just like kids would be on yoga balls, and it's just, you would look in and you would think it's like crazy, but it's just her teaching style, you know? And so, and I'm a little bit, I'm all for having fun, and I love to do things like that. But I'm just more like chill. Like I like the music playing, and just like the ambiance, and like very, tranquil. So it's okay to be different than the other teachers too. So.
On that same note, one thing that I did this year that I was like, oh, all new teachers should do this, because I was at a new school this year. So I did feel kind of new. Like the school culture was really different. Like even like the kids' culture was very different for me. Yeah. Like the language was different. And so I felt new. And so our school had an instructional coach like option thing like you were talking about. So I took advantage of that. I was like, yes, I'll take a coach. And this was, I think, like, I don't know, my 5th year teaching, I think. I don't know, but I'm still new. So I was like, yes, please come in my classroom and help me. And one time my instructional coach was like, well, do you want me to just like teach this? It was, what was it called? Thinking maps. She's like an expert in thinking maps, and I'm not an expert. So I was like, well, do you just want to do it? Can you just show them how to do thinking maps? So she taught my class for 2 days, like my hardest class. And I watched her teach it, and I was like, dang. And it was so helpful because I saw her little things like use my technology, like, oh, you can like flip that on the smartboard. Like, oh, cool. Okay, good to know. Like, oh, you did this? Oh, and then her personality is so different from mine. I'm so fast and like, all right, everybody, let's get these things done. It was a remedial reading class, and my kids are like, so when she came in there, and she was so slow, she was so calm, she gave them thinking time, and they did so much better than sometimes they do with me. And I was like, that is so good. Like, oh, I'm going to use that. So I wish that I had seen other people not teach their class, teach my class. That's like, let people, if there's any opportunity for somebody else to teach your kids in your classroom, take advantage of that, because it was so helpful to me. I loved it. I would do that every year. Can someone please come teach my class?
Come teach my class. I want to see you. No, that's wonderful. I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh, we got some questions. Oh, man. Okay.
Logging back in. Hey, okay.
Oh, goodness. Sorry, guys.
Someone said typing.com is a good typing game. Cool.
How much of your classes are fully digital? I'm looking into going nearly paperless. So my school is 1-to-1 iPads. So every single child has an iPad, and we too are like have this paperless initiative to go paperless. So I mean, we're pretty paperless.
So are we.
You guys have Google Chrome, right? Or the Chromebooks. One thing I will say though about that is, like, how do we make sure that we're not, like, when we say we're going paperless and we have all this digital technology in our classrooms, like, we want to make sure that we're not just giving them worksheets but on the computer, you know? like truly like effectively using our technology. I think that's a big thing when it comes to integrating technology into the classroom. So,
and the hard thing, like if your school does start to go paperless or go all digital or whatever, their devices are never charged. So they play video games all night and all morning, and then they come to your class and it's not charged, or they broke it, or they forgot it. So it's not like it makes everything easier. It's the kid that was gonna forget a pencil forgot to charge their Chromebook. So it's, I don't know, it's like some people think that it's the answer to everything, and it for sure is not. And it's definitely a way for them to get off task. And I do like it, but I'm thinking about this year doing tech-free Tuesdays, just because my kids, like, I'm just afraid of like all those studies that come out that say that like kids in technology, it's like crack to their brains and they're like so addicted. And I'm like, I don't want to be contributing to that as their English and history teacher. So I do want to have times that we don't use it, just for like their sanity and social skills. Like, look up for a minute. Stop being like this.
Great idea. I think that's a great. I'm not. Some people are saying they're not a fan of paperless. It definitely takes getting used to, and not in super easy transition.
The same with schools and with kids, the same problems are always going to exist in a different form, no matter how far we come in technology. There's always going to be like the same type of issues. So.
Let's see.
Quizzes. Oh yeah, I've heard people talk about that website, Quizzes. For some reason, I use Kahoot a lot, but I'm going to try Quizzes.
Quizzes is great, especially if your kids take their devices home. You can assign them like as homework to do at home.
I should do that. Someone said, how much time do you spend after school working? And they stay till like 7 p.m. to grade and plan and copy, so they don't have to bring work home.
I can see that. Honestly, I don't have like a set like schedule. I usually stay late like once a week, but I don't like do like Wednesdays or and staying late to me is like staying till 4:30 or 5. My school got out last year at 3. So that was, and our contract time was to 3:30. So staying late to me is like staying till 4:30 or 5. I like to be home for dinner, and I try not to miss that. I do a lot of, I have a 4-year-old, and a lot of my work that I do, I just do at night after my daughter is asleep, and I've had dinner with my family and everything like that, and then that's when I'll do extra work if I have to at home.
I try to take full advantage of my prep period. So like if you teach middle or high school, you probably have one period where you're not teaching. So I try to make sure to get a lot done during that time, or at lunch if I need to. I am pretty much always coaching something after school. So I've got practice or games quite often. And then by the time like there's been an away game or practice or whatever, then I can't stay too much later than that. Like there's a specific time when I have to have my son picked up by, or they're going to charge me. So I just have responsibilities that prevent me from staying really, really late. But you just kind of have to find what works for you. And it does tend to subside a little bit. Like my first year teaching, I only taught part-time. It was till like 11:30 that I got done, like 11:30. And I always stayed until school was over. So I stayed like 3 or 4 hours prepping and planning and getting things done. But that was my first year. Now I don't do that anymore. So.
And I think it's important that you find a balance. You don't want to get burnt out, especially like your first year. So I mean, just find what works for you. Like some people are able, like if you're single with no kids, I mean obviously it's easier for you to stay late. And for me, I had to kind of, because I didn't want to feel like I was missing time with my kids and my husband. So let's see.
Someone said they always have students stopping by. It's really difficult to get work done when they do that. Just walk your door. Actually, I have, at my school is like half a middle school, but it's half a Chinese school. So after school, instantly, all the elementary students in the district that take Chinese school, which is like most of them, come and use all of our classrooms for that from like 3 till 6, I think, and then on Saturdays. So there's basically never a time when I'm alone in my room, ever. As soon as the bell rings, a bunch of little kids come in my room, and it's language class, so they are loud. And then I couldn't even go in on Saturday because they're all day on Saturday too. So that's my least favorite thing about my school, is that I have no time to myself besides my prep period. So I just have to take full advantage of that, and then like try to put on headphones or like block things out when I'm trying to get work done after school. But yeah, you're just always going to have different situations like that. You got to figure out.
Yep. Let's see.
People bother you on your prep. Yeah, there are certain people, when I see them walking down the hallway, I'm like, oh, don't start. There's some people you know are going to take the whole thing, and you're like, oh. I hide, or sometimes I straight up lock my door, and
just so no one can come in. Sometimes I'm my worst enemy though, because I am a social butterfly. And so, like, I'll go up to the office, and, like, I'm great friends with the secretaries, and I'll go chat them up, and then I'll see someone, you know. So sometimes I'm my own, like, during my prep time.
Which is another good thing to do, though. That's another, like, tip, is to have good relationships with the office staff and with the custodial staff, because you are going to need favors. For sure.
Yes. And let me tell you, like, they will let you do a lot more. They will help you out with things a lot more if they like you. So, I mean, they run the school. Like, let's be real. Let's be real.
You have no power. You have no power. The office staff has all the power.
All the power.
If you need reimbursed for something, you better have brought them cupcakes or something sometime this year. So.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, let's see if there's any burning questions that I didn't get to.
Because guys, we're gonna be doing this, you know, more often, right, Megan?
Yeah. Well, now that this is pretty easy.
We don't.
Now I understand like how to do it. It's really not that hard. And maybe comment below. Like, I don't mind this format where it kind of like jumps back and forth between us. Yesterday we used YouNow instead of Google Hangouts, and it had just like a split screen. And so if you have a preference for either one, like, let me know. Some people don't like when it jumps back and forth, but some people don't like the split screen. So if you have a preference, let me know, and we can learn new technology and try out different things. So this has been cool to like try out something different.
Definitely.
My principal was impressed with me that I was trying out Google Classroom, because at school we were testing it, and I had to go like ask my principal to help me. And
like, I'm just on the screen like, hey.
She's like, who is this person? I'm like, don't worry about it. She's like, how do you make the sound work?
Just help me.
It was pretty funny. Then she found my YouTube channel, and she was like, what is this? And I was like, oh. Yeah, that. Oh, okay. Well, here's another question that I get very often that somebody probably put in there. But having a YouTube channel about your job when you're a teacher, and so there's always that risk that students find it, that parents find it, or that administrators find it, or coworkers find it, or whatever. What are your thoughts on that?
I am just very open and transparent that I'm on YouTube. I don't make it where it's a thing like I'm trying to hide or anything like that. Because I also have a booktube channel where I talk about books, and it's completely unrelated. Yeah, and it's completely unrelated to teaching. And I had that before I started this Love and Literacy. And, you know, that was just something I told my students. And at a staff meeting, it was like some interesting facts about you. Like, that was, you know, I have a YouTube channel. It's one of my hobbies is YouTube. And I just tell people about it. And then when they find it, it's not like a big deal. Like, it's just like, my kids actually thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I had one kid say, Miss Big Bomb, I stayed up till like 1 in the morning watching all your videos on Pages. And I'm like, oh my God. But I mean, so I don't mind it at all. What about you with your middle schoolers?
Yeah, my middle schoolers find it quick,
Oh,
like
yeah.
real quick. And then the other thing is I also have another YouTube channel that is me singing covers of songs, but I don't even remember the username or password for that. It's like a really old channel. If anyone wants to go laugh at me, I know that it's Solids Girl Music. Like that's the name of the channel, Solids Girl Music. I haven't even checked it in like years. So they used to find that one. I don't even know how. I haven't uploaded in forever, but they would find that, and I would like hear like my voice like coming out of their phone. I'd be like, "What is happening right now?" And then that was like, yeah. Then they started finding this one because it's been like 3 years or something since I've done this channel. So they find it, and then there'll be like random kids that I don't have that I'll see in the hallway, and they'll be like, "Hi, Mrs. Furs, I watched like all your videos the other day," and I'm like, cool, thanks. Okay,
I know, it's like, because I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of, but it's just like weird.
I don't mind because I figure that they will bore of me quite quickly. You know, exactly. Like they see me all day, they're not gonna like. It's exciting to find your teacher online for a minute, but then like they're probably not watching it very often. I never tell my coworkers or administrators about it. Just I don't know. Someday maybe I'll be like less weird about it, but I've just never mentioned it ever. Like I know that a few people have found it, but if they find it, whatever, they find it. I just try to make sure that I'm always positive, always encouraging. I mean, sometimes you're like real, like talking about problems that you had, but that I'm never like putting anybody down or saying like, oh, my principal was so horrible. Like, oh, these parents are so horrible. So I just try and keep it positive. And if somebody finds it, I'm saying the same things that I say in class or that I would say in a parent-teacher meeting. So go ahead and watch. It's just going to be the same stuff that you'll get in real life. So yeah, just don't try to be somebody different, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, all right. Are we going to...
Should we do our haul?
Oh, yeah. Well, I forgot about that. You know, let me go grab it. And I'm also going to grab my charger real quick. So let me go grab some stuff from Target. Sorry, I didn't have it right with me. I forgot about it.
It's cool. I'll start mine. We decided we would do like a little live haul while we were on with you guys. We thought that might be kind of interesting. Go get yours. I think Paige went to Target. I went to Michael's the other day. I had to get some stuff for summer school. My students are making slime. I think probably all your children, like biological children, are making slime this summer too. So I got some things for myself. So I'll just show you real quick what I got. This is kind of like my MO on my channel anyway. I do like hauls. So I always, in the past, used the Erin Condren planner. And then last year I used a Purple Trail planner. And I loved both of those. But this year I was like, let me just try something cheaper and like more accessible and something I don't have to order online and wait for. Let me just buy something. So I got a Happy Planner, and this cover right now, it was $39.99, but it was free with a Happy Planner. So if you have a Michael's near you, you might be able to get the same deal. So I got this planner for teaching. I think it's really cute. And this was like $24, I'm pretty sure. And then this cover was free. So I thought that was a great deal. Like that's cheaper than anything I'm gonna get online.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah,
I like it. It's like, let me just simplify a little bit. It doesn't have a ton in it. It's not super detailed. But let me see. I need like a regular page here. So it has 3 sections, kind of like a vertical Erin Condren planner. And I'm teaching 3 preps this year. So I have like 8th grade English, 6th grade English, and 6th grade history. So I can write down like my general lesson plans in each box, or just like things I need to remember. It's not like full lesson plans, but I just need to kind of have an idea of it that I can look at. And then I have more detailed lesson plans in other places. So this, I won't even take home. Like it's really big and bulky, so I'll just leave it on my desk. And
I love that.
Kenton, you're stepping on everything. Can you please stop? And then I got stickers to go with it. And these are like, this is like a teacher pack of stickers. I haven't opened them yet.
Where'd you get this at? Michael's?
This is all Michael's. So all together, and I went to Daiso. This stuff is from Daiso. Kenton, really? You can't touch my computer. I'm sorry, but that's something that's not yours. Let's see. Do you want to take something out, though? Do you want to take something out of this bag? Look. Yeah. Look, you can have that. like, I know that's a piece of paper. This is not exciting. I got some twine because I like to string stuff like from the ceiling and like hang work and worksheets and stuff. So I wanted to do that. So I grabbed some of that. I got these letters. This is kind of like the color scheme in my classroom this year, and these are like watercolor letters. So these were on sale, I think, as well. And plus, they always do a teacher discount of 15% off, so you can get those. I'm not sure what I'm gonna use this for yet.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, get that teacher discount.
I need to go to Michael's.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Then they were also having a sale on cardstock, so it's 3 for $10. And I got a white pack that I already busted into, and then like these colors because I like
those colors.
That little color scheme. So that was Michael's, and then since Jensen just gave me this, I went to Daiso, which they probably don't have in other places besides California. It's a Japanese store, but if you live where there's a Daiso, go there as often as you can. It's like the Japanese 99-cent store, but now everything is like $1.50. So like this little bag was $1.50.
So cute.
It has a butt tail. And then like I got some of these little cactus pencil pouches for some other teachers that I know that are like doing cactus themes in their rooms this year. And then it's like these are $1.50, and then a pack of like gel pens for $1.50, and then these pens, you know, that like are different colors, like you can push them color. Jensen, he's sad that I'm ignoring him. I'm sorry. You can come sit on my lap in like 2 seconds. I'm sorry. So sad about it. Okay, that's everything. Show me your stuff.
So I didn't get a ton. I didn't go to Michael's. I went to Target again, and I already went to Target and hit up their dollar.
I saw your haul.
Yeah,
Target haul.
There really wasn't that much more. Oh, it's okay, Jensen.
He's learned how to fake cry. He's just fake crying.
First, I'll show you this. I got it. It's not for my classroom, but for my life. But it was like $12, and it has a gold.
Cute.
How cute is that? I love it. So I got that. But that isn't for my classroom. I just had to show that off. Okay, so first things first, I got these paper fans to hang up on my ceiling. These two colors really aren't in my color scheme for my classroom, but this definitely is.
So, like the seafoam kind of.
Yeah, so we'll see. I might just buy more of these just to use this one, but they're super cute. They just kind of fan out. I got these for the first day of school and like the first week of school, just for their names. And I got these little clips. I figured I could put them on my whiteboard for work with no name.
Oh, yeah.
So I got those. And is that it? Yeah. I didn't get that much stuff. That was like the lamest haul ever. I got a candle too, but I already started burning it. So.
And I know you have a Target haul up on your channel right now, so.
Yeah, it's like, guys, I just went to Target. And Megan texted me, and she's like, I think I'm going to do a mini haul, too. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll go to Target, see what I can find, too. So this is what I found. But I'm really excited about these because they're super cute.
They haven't had good stuff at my Target lately. Like, all these people have been posting stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, my Target has none of that stuff. Where are you guys going?
And, like, for their stationery has a bunch of, like, cupcakes, and, like, it's, like, really, like, young, like, juvenile stuff for their stationery, like their Post-it notes and stuff. And so I'm like, I'm waiting for it to be more teachery and stuff that I like. So, yeah. But that's what I got. I didn't get a ton, but.
Always fun to do hauls. I don't know why. I just always like watching hauls. I'm like, what did you get? What did you get? Exactly. I want to know.
Like, I'm going to go to Michael's now because of your haul. So
yeah, I got to go back.
Haul. They make me spend more money.
Yes, I know. I watched, what's her name? Casey Morris, Teachers Pay Teachers, I think is her channel name. And she had like Amazon links to the stuff that she's using in her classroom this year. And I bought like everything else. Like, personal laminator? Yes. Yes, I need a personal laminator.
I have my personal laminator, and I love it. So I think every teacher needs to have one.
That's a good thing to have, a like little paper cutter. that was another thing that I ordered. So like on my Amazon account today, I was like, yes, laminator and the laminating sheets. I'm gonna need that for sure. Jensen's just like insisting on being on camera. See, he's like 5 now.
Yeah, he's cool now. He just wanted to be a part of it. He was like, don't leave me out, Mom.
Excuse me, people. Hello. I'm here too. I'm here too.
Goodness gracious. Let's see. Someone is buying Chromebooks for their classroom.
What? Really? Wow. That's amazing.
That is. I would, have you thought about Donors Choose? Has anyone ever done that? I've never done my own Donors Choose, but I know they fund stuff.
Yeah. Another teacher at my school loves it, and like it's like if she wants to do a novel or something, like she'll get class sets of novels through Donors Choose.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I actually get, because they have Chinese school in my classroom every single day, the way that they compensate me for that is that they will reimburse me up to $1,000 for classroom supplies. So they make it worth your while because they know how annoying it is. So I could the stuff I bought at Michael's, I can just keep my receipt, and when school starts, I can get reimbursed for that.
Girl,
so if I need supplies, I just get them. So yeah, that's for sure an upside. Like whenever I get annoyed about that, I'm like,
you're like,
just give me money and things. Okay, that'll work out.
Well, do we want to?
Should we do like one last question?
Yeah, we'll do one last question, and then anything else that, if you guys still have questions or whatever, we can do this again in a couple weeks. So just hold on to your questions. We should make like an Instagram thing for people to put their
here, let me check Instagram, just because people left questions there. Wow.
I think we hit a lot of them.
Oh, my phone just died. Okay.
Oh, that's a sign. Well, I have it written down here. So we pretty much hit everything that was on the Instagram.
Okay.
The building relationships and technology. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Jensen. Let's see. How do you build relationships with parents? Okay, so we'll answer. You want to answer this?
Sure.
Last?
Sure.
How do you build relationships with parents from the beginning of the year? So do you first kick that off?
I struggle with that, so let me hear what you have to say.
I'm very from like the very beginning, like teacher meet the parent night. I'm very open and just very positive, and I try to be very like I don't want to feel like, I don't want my parents to feel like they can't come to me, or like I want them to feel comfortable with me. Another thing that I do is at the beginning of the year, I make it a point to make a positive call home. Just like the first couple of weeks of school, just one thing that their child is doing really awesome. Parents love to hear that. I had one parent that was like, wow, like I thought it was going to be something bad. And that's just like, so I think that's really important too. And just, show those parents that you love their kids and, you want them to succeed. That's going to go so far for you. If they know that you care about their kid and you've done something to, really show, like I attend my kids' events if I can. I can't go to everything, but I try to go to some things, and, it really just shows that I care about them, and parents see that. And so I think they feel safe, with having their kids in my classroom.
That's really good. Even like with having this little one in daycare, like I want to hear from his teachers. Like I want to hear how he's doing and just kind of, like what they're working on or whatever. So now I'm kind of seeing that from the other end. Since I have so many students, it is hard to build relationships with all of the parents. So like back to school night, is one way to try that. It's just that usually the parents that are already going to be pretty easy are the ones that show up to back to school night, and the ones that you really need to meet with,
they're not going to be there.
So that's kind of hard. But if you teach a grade that's like a transition grade, like I do, as I have a lot of 6th grade classes, giving them tips about how to make that transition easier, I think is good. Our 6th graders, this is the first time that they've had like real grades, like A, B, C, D, F. And then we have online grades, and I think they haven't had that before. And you know what? I didn't even realize that until like halfway into my first year of teaching 6th graders. Like, they didn't understand a GPA. I was like talking about GPAs and grades and stuff, and they were like, what is that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys don't know this stuff? So like understanding kind of like where they came from last year, what is going to be different this year, and explaining easy ways to make that transition. I have the parents log into, we use PowerSchool, which I actually hate. I hate PowerSchool. I used to use School Loop, and School Loop is a million times better. PowerSchool is terrible. But I like explain to them how to use that. This is how you see grades. I explain to them things like, I do put in a 0 if I didn't get a student's work, but I do take late work. So if you see a 0, know that that's like a message to you, like ding, ding, ding. They either didn't turn this in, or they didn't put their name on it, or I don't have it for some reason. So you need to do something about that. But it's not permanent. Like, don't flip out, because that's usually what happens at the beginning. Like, my kid has a 0. What can they do to make this up? I'm like, turn it. Give it to me. Give it to me, and they can make it up. That's it. So those things that I, like, once you've been teaching for a little while, you know the emails that you constantly get, and you try to address those things at the beginning. And, you know, it just, as you go, it just gets a little easier, and things come together better. So if you have a hard first couple of years, like it gets better.
Yeah. Yep, it does. So, yeah. Let's see, is that
we're at like an hour. We did 7:09. That's pretty perfect, I think.
Perfect. I think so too. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, in the middle. Oh, Jensen. I'm Paige. You can find me at Love and Literacy on YouTube.
Yes, go over and subscribe as soon as we're done.
And it's been awesome, and I can't wait for next time, because there's still tons we could talk about. So
yeah. So leave us your question. We'll kind of, I don't know, like we'll put things out on like Instagram and Twitter and stuff, and just try and get your questions ahead of time, so that we can like start with those, and then also you can like add in questions as we do the chat. I'll charge my phone better next time.
Yeah, and I'll try not to like have to run and get my iPad or my laptop charger and live chat.
So thanks for coming to our first one. Now I want to go look at all the comments now that I can concentrate. So.
Yes. All right. Well, guys, we'll talk to you later.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.